So I'm back and gonna walk through making another recipe that would be very blood sugar friendly or appropriate for someone with diabetes who's trying to watch their blood sugar. So this is an interesting recipe that was given to me by one of our patients over at the cardiopulmonary rehab program. He grows avocados and citrus, and he gave me this recipe that is for avocado chocolate mousse. I was very intrigued. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm interested to try it and see how it tastes. So this recipe is based around a couple avocados. There's a little bit of milk. You could use whatever type of milk you prefer. This is organic, lactose-free milk, but you could use coconut milk or almond milk or whatever it is you use. There's some vanilla, cocoa powder, a little bit of salt. You can always leave out the salt if you're trying to watch your salt intake. Then it calls for some chocolate. I'm just going to use chocolate chips, but you could also use more cocoa powder. The recipe noted that using a little bit of melted chocolate makes it a little more rich. So if they're avocados, I'm going to wash these up. There's a little scrub. And we'll cut those. And then everything is just going to be put in the food processor and blended together. You could also use a blender. I'm going to try the food processor. So for avocados, a good trick, run the knife around it. Separate the two halves, and then with your knife, you can carefully stick the knife in the pit and twist it. It helps you to get it out, and then you just push the back of the pit, and it releases it. We'll grab a spoon, and we'll scoop the avocados out. There's one. One half. Another half. Years ago, I went to Hawaii when my first niece was born, because her dad was a Marine at the time. And at the place we stayed, the guy had an avocado tree, but they were these different avocados, not the Haas ones that we normally eat here. And they had a real thin skin and much different tasting avocado, but these with the darker skin have always been my preference. They're a lot more rich, which probably is going to help with the mousse. Put that in the sink. Okay, so 2 avocados. And I need a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. When I was young, I always thought this must be something good because it said Hershey's on the side, but I realized that it didn't quite taste like the Hershey's bar eventually. We'll level this off. A little bit more. Okay. Make sure I got it right. 1/4 cup regular cocoa powder. That there. Okay. Three to 4 tablespoons of the milk of your choice. So, grab my tablespoon. Start with 3 and we'll go from there. Oops. 1, 2, 3. Half a teaspoon of vanilla. Got my half teaspoon here. Like so. And then a 1/4 cup of melted chocolate chips. So I'm going to put a 1/4 cup in here. Looks about right. There's some different methods for melting chocolate chips, so I'm going to do the microwave method. So I put it in for 2 minutes, but I put it in on 50% power. I'm going to give it about 30 seconds, and I'll check on it. They use a lower power so you don't overheat the chocolate chips. They sometimes will get clumpy and not so nice when you heat them up too hot, too fast. All right, 30 seconds on 50% power. Nope, some more time. Let it go another 30 seconds and see how they're doing. Now we're talking a little bit. Probably another 30 won't be there. Nice. Nice and smooth. Now for the sweetener, it calls for a 1/4 cup of a sweetener of your choice. So you could go a lot of different directions with this. If you're really trying to watch your sugar intake, you could use something like some sort of stevia, the Swerve, Splenda. If you have a little more room with your sugar, you could use something like maple syrup or honey. But since we're talking about diabetes-friendly desserts, I'm going to try the Swerve in this one. Cup. I'm going to hold off on the salt until I taste it, and then I'm going to add our melted chocolate here. You could always use a real dark chocolate, which is going to give you the chocolate flavor and probably the creaminess, but without the sugar. In this case, these are just regular old milk chocolate chips. Get as much of that in there as I can. Hold on to my spatula. All right, might get loud. See how we do here. Pretty good. Let me give it a try here. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, very rich and chocolatey. Wouldn't even know it had avocado if I hadn't made it. So that's really good. So there's another option for a diabetic-friendly dessert. And also one that's full of good nutrition, because avocados are a great source of healthy fats and fiber. And cocoa has some good fiber too, and other nutrients in there. So, delicious option. For something like this, I would probably serve it in a pretty little ramekin. Voila.